This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, this is the Ramble. That's in white. Alex, it's in red. That's because I'm to the right wing, or whatever you have. Anyway, hello everybody. How are you? Wait a minute. I gotta do something here. This door is open for some reason, and it shouldn't be, because if I have the door open, my wife, who's trying to sleep because she has to go to work tomorrow, will hear all the noise coming out of this studio, and I can't have that happen. Now, can I? Aye, yeah. Anyway, it's Wednesday. We tend to be doing our shows now Wednesday through Friday, and I'm feeling a little more rested as a result of it, and it's giving my eyes are starting to heal up almost completely. That's really nice. But let's do what we do when for the first show of the week, no matter when we do it. We actually should probably go and deal with Phil Meyer, which is the guy who is, let me see here. Before I do that, I want to put his name here so that it comes up okay. There we go. There's Phil Meyer. Hello, Philip. How are you?
How you doing?
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Also, there's somebody trying to come in here, and I can't let him in right now, so I just will do that. Okay, so I got to get
trying to encroach on the Wednesday tete-a-tete.
Yeah. Well, it's Charlie Wallace. He calls early, and he's ready to go, and we'll put him on later. Okay, Yeah.
Hey, tonight.
So, by the way, this is Phil Meyer. That's why I had to go get that writing underneath him.
Yeah. Well, I'm not using the green screen tonight. I'm just using the built-in green screen.
Yeah, that built-in thing they've got, it's not that good. It kind of you can see. Put your hands up, and you kind of see it'll have webbed hands. Is kind of what happens. Yeah. But
hey, it looked like Patrick.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, how's your weekend?
My weekend was dull. Nothing much happened, I mean, it's just all weekend I was worrying about one thing or another, as I'm dealing with lawyers and I'm dealing with my doctors and,
Yeah. Well, the eyes are looking better.
Yeah. I mean, my doctor pissed me off this week.
Yeah.
But this is the internist. He's a cardiologist, but he works as my primary doctor, right?
Yeah.
So he gets a report back on me, and it says I'm low on platelets, or my platelets are slightly low, which is no big deal. Okay, that could just come from the radiation I had, right?
Could have come from the flu that you had, or whatever it was.
In any event, okay. He then took a urine specimen to see if I had any blood in it. And I always tell him there is blood in my urine. A small, minute amount of blood always shows up in my urine. It has been happening that way for the last 20 years. Numerous people have tested for it to see what it might be or whatever. And it turns out to be nothing. All right? And that includes 2 cystoscopies from a doctor who saw this as a godsend for his wallet and decided every time I found blood, well, we got to do it just to make sure it isn't bladder cancer. So finally, I went to my urologist, my new one, the one I really like, and he put the dipstick in, and I said, I usually have blood in my urine. And he said, well, you don't right now, but he said, if you did, no big deal. If it's a regular thing with you, then it's just coming from somewhere like a kidney or something like that.
How did that work for Colin Powell?
Well, anyway, no, we're not. We'll get into that in a little bit. So then, isn't it funny? I always talk about medicine on this show now. And then the other thing was he checked my my kidney thing, my kidneys, for what they call GFR, whatever that stands for. And last time, which was a year and 9 months ago that I got it, it said, you're a little low here, but then he circled it and it said okay. All right? And then he wrote a note saying you have slightly, disrupted kidney function or something like that, but just mild, right? And they circled it and said okay. All right, now cut to now. All right, so he finds that I still have that same problem with the kidneys, and I still have the same problem with the blood in the urine. Now, I've told him any number of times that's normal. Forget it. Don't worry about it. I've got a urologist. He'll keep on top of it, right? And then he in his letter to me, he says, see your urologist, or if you don't have one, we can recommend one. What do you mean you can recommend one? This is the guy you recommended to me a long time ago, all right? And I have a urologist. And then he says, in the same message, kidney function is slightly disrupted or whatever, but mild, and just drink lots of water. All right? And then he says, with the blood platelets, have it checked in about a month again. All right? So, okay, fine. So then I get a letter the other day with a prescription, right, to go have my test. But it's not only for the blood test, it's also for the urine test and for the kidney test.
That you just had.
Well, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I went back and I looked at my old kidney test from a year and 9 months ago, and it was actually worse than the one I just got. The one I just got was an improvement over the old one. What does he expect to find in a month?
Well, maybe he wants to make sure that the test was accurate.
It doesn't matter whether the test is accurate or not. You compare it to the last one, and when you see that actually my kidney function has gotten better, you use that as the comparison. Wouldn't that seem to be logical?
Possibly, but nothing's logical.
Nothing's logical where doctors are concerned. And then have another urine test. What? Why? I told you.
What kind of car does he drive?
I don't know, but I guess he's trying to buy a better one.
Yeah.
And then he wrote me and he says, time for you to have your electrocardiogram. Yeah, okay, it's another $400 in his pocket. I don't mind doing that. That's a nice thing to have checked up.
$400, but the insurance company only pays like $8.15.
I hope so. And then then let's see here. From our lawyer, we get a bill for $2,700 that he said was sent on the 3rd of September, but we never got it. And I'm going, what's this about? Well, I did a lot of thinking over the weekend about your case. When I started thinking, I wrote down when it started and when it ended. Come on.
What kind of car does he drive?
I have no idea, but we're not made of money. All right, and this has cost us a lot of money. And I'll tell you something: we've spent $100,000, and we're no further ahead from where we were in the beginning. In fact, we're probably a little bit behind. So what am I paying all this money out for? If I'm, it's been 9 years, Phil.
No,
9 goddamn years.
Yeah. Well, tonight. By the way, your eyes are looking good.
Of course, they're looking great. I'm looking about 10 years younger?
So
5 years younger? A year and a half younger?
Anything will take anything you can get.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just got back from Ruth's Chris and the cigar bar with your buddy Alan Wine, and they plied me with liquor. We had 2 bottles of wine, steaks, and then we went to the cigar bar, and I'm still lightheaded from the cigar. I don't know. You know
what I don't get is why you go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Because when you there's always Tad's Steakhouse,
Well, Tad Steakhouse used to be what, $4.50 for a steak?
When I bought it, when my father bought it, when we first bought it, it was right next to the Musicians Union too, so that's why we went. I think it was $1.99 for a steak, and you got a potato, and you got a couple other things with it too, and it was a great steak. As years went on, it went up to about $15, which was still very cheap, but the steak was just horrid.
Yeah. I did a job years ago for the Union Square Hotel, which was like on the corner of Ellis and Powell.
Yeah.
They rented their lobby was next to the Tad Steakhouse, and I used to, while that job was going on, I used to go there and get a steak and eat. But it wasn't a bad place, for what it is. But I like Ruth's Chris. It's consistent. It's like the McDonald's of steaks. You go anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, a McDonald's burger tastes like a McDonald's burger. It's consistency that makes them successful.
I'll tell you something. You go into a McDonald's anywhere in the world, and it's the same smell.
Right.
You ever know? Have you been to gone to it in other countries?
Oh.
Huh?
Some sort of fat and salt.
Something.
Yeah. So I finally kicked the McDonald's habit. The exercise that I'm doing, I'm eating better, and I'm keeping my sugar in check, and I'm staying out of McDonald's. I'm staying out of all the fast food places, and I'm making better choices.
Yeah. Well, I figure it's time for me to diet again. Yeah. Yeah. Huh?
You do it Atkins, or are you going to do something different?
I'll do Atkins. Yeah. But it's hard for me. It was hard for me to do because Marjorie, it keeps making food for me. She goes, "Okay, we're having pea soup tonight." Do you know what the worst carbo-laden soup is anywhere? Pea soup. Yeah. Yeah. You have a problem that when I start talking, your sound goes down. Do you have your thing set so that it doesn't?
I just had time to sit down with Obedia and hook up the.
But forget about that. This may be the way you've got your Zoom set, in that you've got it set so that it compresses.
Well, when I talk to Obedia and they set up the other unit, I'll tell them that this happens, and they'll be able to fix the settings.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so what else is new, Phil?
Other than, we went out. I got back 15 minutes before the show because Ruth's Chris is only around the corner from my apartment.
Oh, okay.
I took my car because it's raining here. I mean, it's raining, and it's going to rain for the rest of the week. I heard on the news, PG&E said that there's thousands of customers in the Bay Area that have lost power.
Really?
We need the rain. I'm not crazy about losing power. Have you experienced any of these kinds of blackouts or rolling blackouts in New York like they do?
Well, I never drank so much that I blacked out. So No, I don't know. What happens here in New York? Well, we've had massive blackouts in this town, as you know, but on only a couple of occasions in the last 50 years. But they were doozies. Yeah. I mean, there was one that was, I think the whole city was out for 24 hours.
I was there as a kid for the 1965 blackout. It was a big deal.
Yeah. I was here for what year was it that it happened? It happened in probably, oh God, maybe 93, 90, maybe, no, 2003, 2004, something like that. I can't remember. Forget it. My memory is...
So are you prepared for blackouts? Do you prep it all? Do you get candles? Do you get lanterns? Do you get one of those radios that you can listen to?
No.
Emergency channel?
No.
Have food stores?
No.
No?
Well, I mean, we could, we got enough stuff stored here food-wise where we could probably keep eating for several weeks if we had to.
Have a way to cook it.
No. Well, we have gas.
Yeah.
And in electricity going out, gas probably still works.
Yeah, you would hope.
I would hope. You know, so.
I've bought all of those things. I watch on YouTube these guys that camp and do what's called bushcraft. It's very interesting. It's not that I would ever go camping. Camping to me is to check into a nice hotel with a spa, and but you watch those YouTubes, and I've bought a jet boil, which can not only be a French press, but can also boil water in 60 seconds. And then I bought these foods that will last 25 years. And you tear open the package, and you take the water that you generated in the jet boil, and you put the food in there, and it makes a nice meal. Now, they say it's a nice meal. It's been reviewed by these other YouTubers. I've never opened the container, so I'm
so you
hoping.
don't know. I'll tell you what happened to me this week. I go to make my coffee in my big giant Keurig, right? And a note comes up and it says the system is clogged.
Well, that's not good.
So I'm looking. I'm trying to figure out where's it clogged. I try to unclog it and whatever. All of a sudden, I notice this little piece is falling off, and it's the pin in the bottom that pierces the cup. That then, so that's gone bad. So I went crazy. I got to have a Keurig. So I call out to Instacart and I send them over to Costco to buy me one, which is normally $135, but it's $35 off. So I got it for about $100.
Comes with a bunch of coffee.
Yeah, no, and I thought it would just be, screwed. And really, it was better in many ways than the one that I had, because to begin with, it starts making coffee immediately.
Really?
Yeah, for the other one, I had to wait for it to warm up for about 2 minutes and then to make it brew. Here, you open up the top, you put in your K-cup. When you close the top, the machine turns on. You can press one button that you preset for all the settings you want. Next thing you know, it's making coffee.
In a standby mode?
Huh?
In a standby mode? Is that why it starts?
No. It's completely off until I start making it. And then it waits a couple of seconds, and then the coffee starts coming through, and it's hot.
Does it look the same as the last one?
No, that's smaller. And plus, before I used to have to take this tank and fill it at the sink, and then gingerly bring it over to the thing and hook it onto the thing, and I'd probably spill water half the time. They've got a new thing. It's just simply it's a larger size actually, and it's got a handle on it and a top. So I mean, it's brilliant. It's wonderful. But I wasn't about to be done with a broken Keurig. So I looked up what might be broken, and I replaced the part for $22 from Amazon. If you want a really working, good coffee maker, I got it. I got it working again. Just boom, like that,
You put one in the studio and one in the kitchen.
I have no room in the studio, and there's no reason for one to be in the studio.
Well, the reason that I don't have the green screen up, and I'm going to buy one like you have, where you
so simple, yeah.
Lift it up and it's there, because
what he's talking about is this, folks. Wait a minute, hold on, just so people can see.
That makes so much more sense, because the one I have with the fabric that hangs on it, then I have to unclip the fabric, throw it over so I can.
Get one of these. They're cheap enough. I mean, you can get them for about $150 now, maybe less. And it works just fine. But anyway, so what else is happening, Phil?
As I said, Alan and Paul and Todd and Jim all took me. Well, we went to Ruth's Chris, and then we went for cigars and supplied me with liquor, and I was feeling no pain when I came home. work wise, I can't hire anybody. It's a fiasco trying to hire anyone. I can't even get anybody to interview. And I have a service that is running the ads and supposedly interviewing people, so they don't know it's me. It couldn't be, oh well, I wouldn't work for Phil. It's got to be there's nobody out there that wants to work. And the more people I talk to, they say the same thing, that where are these people getting their money? If they've cut off the unemployment, they cut off the extra unemployment.
They're all working for other people. They just don't want to work for you.
Probably that's what I thought, but I've come to the conclusion because restaurants.
You want to hear how popular you are? Only 21 people are watching us right now, and I keep wondering, why do I keep doing this?
Well, you don't have to.
I don't have to.
Don't you buy?
And anyway, I'm going to bring up something. You are such a pest about stuff. If you say something and you're questioned about it, you immediately have to go find any information that will justify it. And the other week we got into the argument. You said there were more deaths last year from COVID than there were this year from COVID.
Well,
and you can't go by the statistics you sent me.
No, they came from Hannity.
No, but worse than that, you have to think about the logic.
Yeah.
All right? To begin with, wait a minute. Last year, beginning of the year, we had no COVID. We didn't have COVID really till about March 15th. We started realizing we had a problem. Huh? Boy, you're really cutting out. I mean, you have to wait. Why don't you go into your Zoom, okay? And go into the settings. You know how to get into the settings.
Okay. Preferences.
Yeah. Audio.
Video. No,
audio. You want audio.
Okay.
What are you?
Background noise. Automatically adjust microphone volume.
Turn that off.
Has that made a difference?
You talk to me now.
I unclicked that. Is that making a difference?
It's making a bit of a difference. Yeah.
Well, I must have bought a discounted version of Zoom.
And turn off background noises too.
Okay, let me go back into that.
Yeah.
Audio. Okay, suppress background noise.
You don't want it. You don't want that checked.
So I should go into, let's say, medium?
Medium what?
I have auto, low, medium, or high.
High what?
Suppressing background noise.
Low.
Oh, okay. Let's try that.
Okay. Now we'll just continue. Anyway, let me get back to this whole thing about the statistics last year. I was thinking about it, and the statistics, pretty much, if you want to go by those numbers, are correct, except there are a few varying situations here. Number one, it didn't start until March 15th, and then it was slowly ramping up. Okay. So the whole year was not as bad as it was when we finally hit January 1st of this year. And then it wasn't until about the middle of March this year that the COVID vaccinations, if you got them, were taking effect.
Right.
All right. So really, the amount of last year that we had was not the same as the amount we had this year. I mean, you can't compare year to year because different things were in play at the time. Yeah, but that means nothing. As a matter of fact, that probably means we have less this year, because we didn't have the vaccine really until about March 15th of this year.
Hannity.
I don't give a shit what Hannity says. Hannity's a fucking moron.
Quoting Johns Hopkins University.
Yes, but he's not taking into effect. He's taking into effect the whole year, and he's not taking into effect what happened in each of those years. You got to realize also, there was vaccine hesitancy. that went on this year. And during that period of time, we had more deaths than we had at any other time last year.
Okay, well, here, look. His statistic is that 352,000 people died in 2020.
Yeah,
All right?
But that is just purely a number. That you are not looking at the mitigating circumstances.
Other statistic is that 372,000 died through October 17th. So it wasn't a full year for 2021.
That is correct, but it also wasn't a full year for 2020.
It was within a month. Now,
No, but the point I'm making is there were different things happening. For instance, we didn't get the vaccine really ramped up till about April of this year. Huh?
January of this year.
No, January this year, they just said we're going to do it and whatever. I didn't get my second shot till the 27th of February.
Got my second shot on the 11th of February.
Okay, but that means that it wasn't effective till 2 weeks later.
I got my first shot.
The point I'm making here, Phil, is that you then had the hesitancy and you had the Delta virus, which was much more potent than anything that was happening last year.
Yes, but what this statistic says is that even with the vaccines that we've had since late January, we have still had numbers that are very close. Now, Alan keeps saying that the CDC says that those numbers are kind of reversed. He says that this year it wasn't 372, it was more like 328 or 340, 330. And the year before, we're in agreement that it was 352. So what I see here, based on these numbers, is that even with the vaccine, we're getting similar numbers. And even though, according to Alan and the CDC, it may be a little bit lower this year than it was last year.
I'll tell you, we have somebody here named Haysen or whatever. I don't know. But he says, I know dozens of people who died from COVID over the last year and a half. I know 0 who died from the flu in my whole life. I have eyes and ears. I don't need to debate statistics.
There's been plenty of people that have died from the flu, maybe nowhere near the numbers that have died from COVID. But, when I look at this, whether Hannity posted it or not, Johns Hopkins School of Medicine is saying that, we're having a lot of COVID deaths this year, and we have
yes, and we've had a lot this year because we have the Delta virus to begin with, which was a far more virulent strain than had been here originally. That's for starters. And secondly, there was the vaccine hesitancy, which caused a lot of people to become ill. You got to remember, in about April of this year, May of this year, we had some horrible months there. And that was because of the vaccine hesitancy.
I'm not sure when the Delta took place. I believe it was over the summer that the Delta virus...
No, the Delta virus much earlier than that. It started coming over from India, I think, in something like March. Yeah. So, anyway. Hey, listen, there are other people that want to talk here. Can you stick on a little bit? Just a little bit. You don't have to stay through the whole thing. Plus, we got to figure out, your sound's still doing what it was doing, and I have no idea why. I guess you better...
It's a good thing, because then I don't talk over other people.
That's true. Okay, let me see here. I'm getting, let's see here. Oh, there's Brian Neary. Hello, Brian. I haven't seen you in about a month or so. Well, I didn't see you the week that I was sick. And then I didn't see anybody for about a week and a half after that. And then you had all your baseball games and everything and work. And this is the first time, so it's great to see you there.
I've been listening.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, your wife.
Hey, hi. Now you already walked in. You already walked in to say hello.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see him too.
Yeah, baseball. So baseball was very very active on
Baseball's been my undoing because where Charlie's concerned, it's because he coaches baseball.
Well, umpires.
Huh?
Yeah.
You umpire? Okay. Yeah.
And then Warriors played last night, so it was a good game.
Oh, I see.
And football, I think football doesn't start for another year.
Hey,
Charlie knows what I'm talking about.
Okay, now wait a minute. Let me see here. Charlie is wearing he's very good when it comes to what do you call it? T-shirts. It says, "Never trust an atom. They make up everything." That's terrific. Let me get rid of Phil Meyer's name here.
Oh, I thought you were going to get rid of
I
Phil.
thought you were gonna get rid of
No, I'm just going to get rid of his name. I just noticed it was still
It looks
here.
like he has an idea.
Huh?
Looks like he has an idea.
Oh, yeah, because there's
Got
a little...
light right above his
Yeah,
Yeah,
head.
it's got the moon right there, right above his head.
Yeah,
Glowing.
That's the moon, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Glowing. That's
Mm.
By the way, we had 90,000 COVID deaths in January 2021 alone. So that's 1/7 of our whole entire COVID death just in 1 year, in 1 month.
Yeah.
we've had the vaccine, and we're still getting massive amounts of COVID deaths.
But not we, not vaccinated
no.
people, not
Well,
we.
you're saying, wait a minute, hold on. See, he said massive amounts of deaths. Everybody have a drink. He's wrong on that. The massive amount of cases has been among the people who didn't have the COVID vaccine. Among the people who've had the COVID vaccine, it's still ridiculously low.
Yes, but if you bring down the number of people because they die, then the percentage of people that are vaccinated will be greater. So
Yeah, but we have a very virulent strain with the Delta, and the ones that aren't vaccinated are being killed off in droves.
In other
Much
words,
of-
if you don't have it, Phil, if you don't have the vaccine, your chances of dying are pretty good. But if you do have the vaccine, yeah, you can still get a breakthrough case of COVID. These happen in about what anybody know what the percentage on that is? Alan, do you have the percentage?
Less
on
than 0.1%.
actually have breakthrough COVID.
Yeah.
All right.
Colin Powell,
He didn't die of COVID. He died
of cancer.
he died of cancer. He also what else did he have? He had a few other things. He probably would have died soon anyway, but the COVID just simply exacerbated it. So I'm tired of these people who go, "Oh, look, Colin Powell died and he was vaccinated." Yeah.
It
That's
took
like
Fox
one guy
News.
gets killed in a car where he's wearing a seatbelt. That means nobody should ever wear seatbelts again? No.
Fox News, 2 minutes after his family announced his death, jumped on it and didn't say he was a great American, 35 years in the military, nothing. All they said was he died of COVID, the vaccine's not working.
that's not true.
Yeah, it is. I watched the damn thing.
Fake news, Alan.
Yeah. Only according to you. That's funny.
Well, how do you make fake news about the fake news? Isn't that redundant?
Alan. All you got to do is ask Alan, and you'll know how to make fake news about fake.
I think Phil had too much wine at dinner.
Yeah, yeah. There's
You tell
Tony.
about dinner, Phil?
There's
Yeah.
Tony. So what?
Alan brings a bottle of wine. It's 30 years old. Poured something newer, you know?
I liked it. I liked the newer one that you poured.
By the way, to show you how everything is relative, I looked on the good side of things. The other day, I get a bill from my dentist for something he did back in October. Right? I don't know what's with people sending bills late these days. Oh, it's COVID. It's been a COVID. No, it isn't. You're fucked up. You're not sending me a bill, right? So they sent me a bill for $2,700 for my implant.
Oh my God! Didn't your insurance pick it up?
Well, it would have picked it up, except that the new insurance I have doesn't cover implants. Anyway, forget about that. Here's how I looked at the good side of this.
What
I looked at Marjorie and I went, yeah, $2,900 for my implant. But you know something? That's 6 hours from a lawyer. Because we got a bill for $2,700 from our lawyer. You know, our lawyer. You know.
So every time you talk to him, Alex, would he charge you? Your lawyer, like when you were working, like say if you send him an email, will they charge you for that? You think?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had a lawyer once, Mr. Turtle. You may remember Mr. Turtle.
You were afraid to talk to him.
You don't want a lawyer. You really don't want a lawyer named Mr. Turtle. That's why I got rid of him and went and got a lawyer named Mr. Reamer. There, that's a good lawyer name.
I want some action, not somebody who's going to be in the show.
But anyway, I sent Mr. Turtle. I swear to you, this is true. I sent him a happy birthday email.
Oh, that's nice.
Wasn't that nice? Happy birthday, Joel. Good to happy many more wonderful years. It's great having you as a friend. It's on my next bill.
Oh my God.
That he got it and read it.
You gave him a reminder. Let me see what he owes on the docket.
Yeah, I mean, and I called him up. I said, "You're charging me for wishing you a happy birthday?" He says, "Whoops."
I mean, really.
So this lawyer this lawyer calls me. He says, "Well, we have a meeting on Tuesday, and I need to talk to you."
What does that mean? How much is it going to cost?
No time, in my opinion, to make a call and be professorial about law. You know, I'm not taking a legal course. Just talk really fast and get out of there in 15 minutes. Each one of these calls was an hour. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, $450, another $450. Boy, I'm on my way to another implant. You know, so I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So
I had to drop off my car. Actually, I had to pick something up at McLaren.
Yeah.
And they have my new keys, and this is covered by warranty, right? Because when I bought the car, they were bad. So I got them. But right when I was starting up the car, alarm went off. And so when I went there, I told them about the alarm. It was an oil alarm. So I said, "Can you guys check that out while it's here?" So it's sort of good timing that it went off. I turned it off and restarted, and it started right up. But the alarm was like blinking and everything going crazy. I said, "Yeah, sure, we'll check it out."
Mm-hmm.
So now, like 3 weeks later, I get a bill in the mail, $625. So I called them to find out what it is, and they haven't called me back yet. But I bet it's for.
But was it for that? Was it for that?
No, it had to be. That's the only thing that. So I'm like, wait. No, if I say check something, it's gonna be $600.
I got to tell you something. You know, I mean, for instance, there are people who do have to have lawyers because suddenly they get sued by somebody for no reason at all, and they themselves are not particularly wealthy. There should be something in the law that assigns them, has a lawyer have to do pro bono work, so that they. I mean, why? I'm not guilty of anything in this whole situation.
No, you're kind of like a victim, really.
And we paid over $100,000 in
legal
that's not
fees.
Fair. And we're seniors. I'm living on a fixed income, for Christ's sake. You know?
Loses had to pay the other.
He's got my wallpaper.
What'd you say?
Guy who loses had to pay the guy's attorney's bills. Then there'd be far fewer cases brought up.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen. And the fact is that in most cases, okay, let's say for some reason I can charge this guy with costing me all this, okay? And let's say he gets nothing and he loses, okay? So now he owes me $100,000 in lawyer's fees. What do I have to do in order to get that? Sue him?
You might have to. Yeah, I was going to say you may have to count.
You know, it's a never-ending. So I mean, I just want out of it. We should have never been in the middle of this case to begin with. And if I'd known it would take this long and cost this much, we'd be living downtown. You know, we wouldn't be living here.
Well, you could have lived in Trump Tower, but you know what they say? Just you afford. That's the.
Wait, everybody be quiet, because anytime you talk, he gets muted. Only do it when he's making a point that you don't agree with. Go ahead, Phil.
Justice can you afford? If you didn't have the $100,000 that you laid out, you would have been out of there, and you wouldn't have had any recourse.
Well, it was money we borrowed and paid back. it was Marjorie's home equity loan. You know,
Brian,
so
I think that $600 they put half a quart of oil in.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a full oil change. It's just $600.
Oh, I remember this guy who came by to fix our washer, and by the time he was through, it cost us $1,000.
What? Washer for
And
that?
a new one of those washer dryer combinations would have only cost me $1,500.
Well, Brian, you know, when somebody buys a McLaren, it's God's way of telling you that you made too much money, you know, and
Now I can talk and nobody.
Oh
can
yeah,
hear
you bought a
how that works.
you
So
bought
keep talking, Phil. Go ahead. What were you saying?
you bought a McLaren. Fuck you.
That doesn't work for you. I can't mooch you.
Bill drives a 10-year-old Toyota. What do you want?
Yeah.
I've been in it.
Toyota. Hey, I had a landlord for my old store, and I bought a Jaguar in '89, and the landlord said when the tenant buys a Jaguar,
He's raising it.
Yeah,
raise the rent.
yeah, yeah.
I'm paying him too much.
Well, you know, I often think with doctors, you know, it's like, what, you need a new yacht, you know. But I mean, like the one doctor I told you, he wants me to. I only want to get the test for the platelets. That's all he told me I needed to get. I don't have to have it for my urine, which I go to my urologist for, or my kidneys, which are better now than they were a year and 9 months ago. I mean, what, you think that in 1 month things are going to get worse or better? I mean, come on. You know, I mean, I'm just tired of all of this. I don't need this. And you know, I was talking to Shecky yesterday about this, and he said, "You know what I've done?" I said, "What?" He said, "I quit taking all my pills.
Is that okay?
Quit taking all my medicine." He says, "You have no idea how much better I feel."
I had a guy come in to check all my fire extinguishers at the store. It's only $5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Charged me $525. So I looked up online. From Walmart, I can buy the same fire extinguisher, a pair of two. They're $50 a piece.
So why is you buy it there?
Brand
Yeah.
for $250. This guy charges the ones I have, you know, because they have to be inspected and charged every year or two, and he charged me $525. You know, this is so commonplace.
But you see, what we have going today, for instance, I honestly believe that we should have universal health care in America. Everybody gets health care free. The government pays for it. Okay, wait a minute. Let me finish, Phil. I'm going to keep talking so you can't be heard. And secondly, I think all dentals should be taken care of, and I'll tell you why. Number one, it does affect people's health if they've got bad teeth. And secondly, okay, let's say you lose these teeth here, and you can't afford to have them fixed. Try looking for a job.
Or trying to eat corn on the cob.
Huh? He's just going through the curtains. There he is. Okay.
The beard.
Gone. That's good.
What were you saying about corn on the cob? Yeah.
Well, without these teeth, you're not going to be
No,
able
but
to
what
eat
I'm
corn on
saying
the cob.
is, I think we don't consider it a part of health care, and it should be considered a prime part of health care. And really, come on, how much money do each and every one of us pay in taxes every year? Shouldn't we get something for our money, and shouldn't health insurance be free because we're paying our goddamn taxes?
Government insurance.
You went into the other room just to do that joke.
It's like Bela Lugosi. Remember Meet the Monsters?
It looks so much better.
Yeah, I was going to say
really.
it is an improvement. Yeah.
Now he's starting to look like Donald Trump.
No, he looks a
without
little
the,
like
orange hair.
Lewis Black, actually.
Proper teeth, Alex.
But anyway, my point is that with all the money you pay in taxes, and God knows I paid over $1 million in taxes in my time, okay? I should get something at this point in my life besides having to pay $300 a month for supplemental insurance to Medicare. You know?
Yeah, you know, when my mom was sick, Alex, with cancer, she was, when she worked at A&S, she had better insurance when she had the when she retired. The, whatchamacallit?
Medicare.
Medicare.
Yeah, but still,
But she was working
still
for A&M.
Medicare only takes care of 80%.
Yeah, we had to do the supplemental for her, too,
Why
yeah.
does it only
They
take
should
care?
have picked the whole thing
Well, hold
up.
on a second. Why does it only take care of 80%? That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, we had to get to the supplemental. I remember that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Phil has his hand out there.
The new pamphlet for Medicare yesterday in the mail.
Oh.
What they said was that dental, it's expanded the Medicare, and they're going to start covering dental and a few other things. You have to get whatever their advance is,
The plus plan.
and they're going to cover implants. Kaiser implant.
He loves the Kaiser.
Well, Kaiser's going to do implants, but what I'm saying is, I don't know. I haven't seen that yet. Take away your hand now, Phil. Only when you need it. Or do you want to keep it up there all the time and we'll just shut up?
That works.
Yeah, I hear they're going to, but they haven't done it yet, though. Medicare doesn't cover dental yet.
It'll be this coming year.
Oh, really? Huh.
Doesn't that depend on whether we get the new bill that the what's it called, the reconciliation bill passed?
I know that Social Security has gone up almost 6%.
For the first time since I retired 13 years ago.
It's the first time in 30 years it's gone that high.
Yes.
That's embarrassing.
That's the
They
good
should-
news. The bad news, it's a cost of living increase.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the donuts to $18.
Paying double in gas.
My mother would get all
over a
excited.
year ago.
$30. Come on, everything's expensive.
Right. What, Phil?
Deposit the other day from Social Security, and it was the retroactive difference in what they should have paid.
You know what you should do? Turn your mic up a little bit. Maybe that will help. That could
No,
help.
he's fine. Just leave him like this.
It's the steak he had.
The less we can hear from Phil, the better, right? Yeah.
I like the option of muting.
Hey, Jeff is here. Jeff's always very quiet.
Always a quiet person.
Yes.
The quiet people you got to be careful with.
Yeah.
He just sits there and looks good.
We have rain tonight. We
Okay.
have rain tonight in California.
Yes, I just drove through it.
Really? Oh, by the way, I was talking about my friend Shecky, who just said he stopped all his drugs, everything. And that he feels much better now.
Until he has a heart attack or a stroke.
Well, I know what he's saying because I have a pill here called Tamulocin, which is to make, Phil probably knows what it is. It's to
Pregnancy pill.
help you make you pee better, right?
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah. And I also take this Cialis, I forget the name for it now.
Extra strength.
What's it? Tadalafil. And you know how I've been telling you the last couple of nights that I've been lightheaded all day and dizzy and so on, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and I looked up these drugs, and both the Cialis and the Tamulocin side effects are lightheadedness and dizziness.
I think every drug on the market.
And
has
what
it.
happened is I was taking both of these, and I should only have been taking one, and I didn't take them yesterday, and I only took one of them today. I took the one that give me a hard on before I take the one that doesn't, and believe it or not, I'm feeling much better today. So maybe he's right. Maybe all these pills we take are, I mean, how do we know the cholesterol lowering pill may help you lower your cholesterol, but what happens if you have high cholesterol but no symptoms?
Well, you don't have symptoms with high cholesterol.
So they measure-
It's like high blood pressure. You don't have symptoms to it.
Well,
I would ask your doctor about taking you off some of the pills. And that way you'll know what ones are important to keep you alive and protect
It's
you.
just as you get older, they just say, "Oh, here, have a pill." Have a pill.
Since I started this new diet or eating plan through
Yeah.
my gym, my sugars have been totally under control. Right now, you can't see it. It's 108. Normally my sugars were in the 150s.
Mhm.
I think that you can control all of these things with diet.
Mm.
And of course, he had a 4-pound steak at dinner.
No, but if the steak wouldn't raise his sugar, blood sugar at all.
No, it wouldn't.
Now, did he have a
Good boy.
potato? Did he have a potato? No? Then he's
no
fine.
carbs at dinner. He did good.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you have a steak.
Tomorrow on the way to work, he'll stop and get a Whopper or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brian lost a lot of weight, and he did it through diet. And, but I think the
He's
reason.
looking so much younger.
But
I'm gonna do my eyes next.
Yeah.
Like I'll look another 10 years.
Boy, I love the way my eyes, I can do this now with them. Woo, astonishment.
You get a shot.
I never looked astonished before. So,
Yeah.
Should I have the bags done? Nah.
No.
Yeah, sure.
Why?
No, Phil says he'll pay for
That's
it.
only $4,000, or as I like to put it, 8 hours of lawyer time.
Well, if you have a choice, I'd take the bags over the lawyer. Time.
Well, the lawyer's going to get paid anyway, and it's just eventually I'm going to be completely broke.
If he asks for the money, just say your money's right here. It's in the eyes.
Yeah, your money's here, right here.
Right here. What are you talking about? Figure it out.
But I'm judging everything now by lawyer time.
That's what you should do. Yeah, because it's so much.
Gee, I could
Your
buy.
lawyer's expensive.
You can take a vacation. You should accept one of those
Wait a
nice
minute,
cruises.
I could
probably like that.
could buy a new car, and it probably would only be 50 hours in lawyer time.
They make a lot.
If it makes you feel better to do it, you might as well do it. You only live once. And if you think that getting rid of the bags will...
Phil, I'm 90. I'm 81. 91. I'm 81 years old. I'm going to be 82 in December.
Right.
How many more years do I have left? If I were going to get the bags taken care of, I'd want to know I got at least 10 years of looking good. You're
gonna leave it to Biden for his campaign? No.
He'll yell at you.
Well,
Always comes back to Biden.
it always comes back to Biden. Lay off Biden. He's an old man. Leave him alone.
He's very angry.
Donate it to the deficit. To bring the deficit down, whatever you got left when you die.
We'll just print more cash.
Come right in. You don't need to be buried. What?
Do you know the difference between the national debt and the deficit?
No.
Yeah, the deficit has to do with how much we produce, our gross national product, and how much we're buying from other countries, right?
I guess. I don't know. I'm asking you because the debt is different than the deficit. Yeah.
Hey, somebody explained to me the other day about Bitcoin and how it works.
Wait, hold on a second. I love how how you Republicans love to blame Democrats for a national debt and a deficit, which was really incurred under the previous administration.
Only a couple of trillion.
$8 trillion in 4 years. That was Trump. $8 trillion because of his stupid tax cut.
I think Trump should pay for Alex's lawyer bills.
Yeah. Do you know how many lawyers' hours there is in 8 trillion?
Yeah, a lot.
Well, about 16 trillion hours. Yeah.
For $8 trillion, you could probably get your prostate replaced, Phil. A transplant from a cow or something.
Yeah.
By the way, do you see where they have a new thing now where let's say you need a kidney, which I could possibly need if I'm losing kidney function. Eventually, I might need a kidney, and of course, my age, they probably say let him die or stick him on a dialysis machine 3 days a week. But what happened now is they've got a new technology in which they take a animal kidney and transplant it to a human being. And because of certain kinds of things they do with DNA and things like that, they alter the kidney and it can be put in a human being. So a lot of pigs are now sweating it. It's bad enough they become pork ribs at Ruth Chris's, but
Did Jeff invent that?
I don't know.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Big mouth.
Yeah, but no, it's coming to a hospital near you. I mean, they've already done it where they've attached it to a person's arm, and the kidney has remained pink and alive and everything for like 8 hours or something like that, or maybe a couple of days, I think. And they finally had to remove it because nobody wants to walk around with a kidney on their arm.
Pig parts are used for not transplants, but in
what do they use for, Jeff? They're used
heart valves.
They're used for heart valves. Yeah.
Heart valves.
Yeah.
whatever they use from the pig works in a person.
But if you're kosher, you can't use it.
Actually, I think they say
Not true.
that what do they call it in Hebrew? Nevish or something, where you're allowed to violate certain rules for the preservation of life.
Well, I think that eating pork is certainly part of the preservation of life
Well,
because
you
ribs
did
are the
that.
best
You got
thing.
your COVID vaccine, preservation of life.
If I could eat ribs for the rest of my life and avocados, I'd be happy. So anyway, Brian, how's everything at work? Is the business still good?
Yeah, we're getting close to opening the Lodi building, so it's pretty exciting.
See,
right now.
what he does is his company builds. I don't know if I have it here anymore. I think I put it over there.
Tests.
Tests basically for COVID, and a lot of other things too.
And a lot of other things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not we as in me, but the company, the originators, they invented the device that tests for it and all the chemicals and everything. Yeah, so
I like the sign on the Altamont that you posted.
Yeah, we have a lot of advertising for the Lodi facility because of Amazon's out there, so they're gobbling up a lot of people. But we've had some job fairs because we weren't sure if we were going to get enough people to start these positions, and man, we're getting a lot of people going through interviews. So it's
By the way, I have your hat on tonight.
Yeah, I have another hat for you. A new one.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
so-
These are really nice. They're great. I love the way they look.
Yeah, my head's just too big. Too much brain.
Really, too much brain.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you going to say, Phil?
I said, Brian, send me a couple of applicants. I don't know where you, but they don't want to sell floor covering. That's for sure.
I'll ask them when I'm doing the interviews. Well, would you like this job, or really would you like floor coverings?
Well, sell me, Phil, because I'm out of work. I could use a job.
Come on out.
Why should I come out to California and go to work
Yeah.
for Carpet One?
Have Alex advertise for you. Remember Alex Bennett from Live 105? He's buying carpet for Phil.
He's selling carpet. He's selling
Carpet
carpet.
One conquered.
You know, when I had an answering machine, Alex would we didn't get around to doing it, but he said that he would do my outgoing message. This is like back in the early '80s when you had answering machines.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get around to having him do it, but
That would have required you to read the directions.
Yeah, this is the thing. This is the thing. By the way, I'm praying to everybody who's watching this program right now. If you make an outgoing answering machine message, please make it as short as humanly possible.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
I hate these people who suddenly decide, I'm going to sing a song, or I'm going to spend a minute talking to you before because there are people I used to call that I stopped calling them because I didn't want to sit there and wait through the whole goddamn message. Am I right, Charlie?
Don't use turn signals.
hey, Alex, if you have a medical emergency, call 911 or call Gabnet. You call up and any doctor's office, even dentist. Well, if you're having a medical emergency, call 911.
No, here's the part I love in all of these is when they say, and they don't mean it, your call is very important to us. Well, if it was important to you, then a live human being would be talking to me right now. Okay?
Or they say the options have changed, so please listen closely.
Oh God, I hate that. I didn't know
what
what the options were before that.
exactly.
Well, either that or I've known what the options are for 5 years now, but you've never changed that message saying that the options have changed.
I actually, when I used an answering machine at the store, I said the options have really changed. So listen to the message. But
It says we now have a real president on his answering machine.
Yeah,
I have to ask you, Alex.
what does my message say on my phone? I think it's very, very short, if I'm not mistaken.
Leave a message or fuck off.
Wait a minute, where are my voicemail? There we go. And then I go edit. Oh, greeting. Okay. Play my greeting. Okay, let me play it here. Let me see. Come on. I go play.
Hi, this is Alex Bennett. There's no one here right now, so leave a message at the sound of the tone.
Is that fine?
That sounds good. It sounds like Tony made it for you with his accent.
That's the one I would have made for Phil had I ever done his, but yeah.
Recorded voice always sounds different than what you think it sounds like. And, your voice, when we hear you on the Zoom, has a different tone and inflection than your outgoing message.
Well,
did.
no, it's probably the same if you were to actually call it and hear it on the phone, because I was taking a speaker and playing it into the microphone here and so on.
Maybe you ought to start a company, Alex.
You know it's very funny.
Messages
You're right. Everybody here who's ever recorded their voice says, "Boy, that doesn't sound like me." How many here think it doesn't sound like them when they hear
It sounds a little different, maybe because your voice is recorded. I'm not hearing it live.
Not you, Jeff, or do you?
I think what I hear is different than you think.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
the same
But
thing.
let me say this: I know my voice when I hear it recorded. I don't think it sounds any different because I've learned now after years of broadcasting and taping myself and announcing and so on what my voice sounds like. So I know what it sounds like when I'm talking right now. Obviously, you're not going to hear yourself like you hear yourself in a recording because what you're hearing is your voice from here to, say, the microphone. Okay? Whereas when you're just talking, you're hearing from your head. You're hearing inside your head. So that you're hearing an entirely different version of your voice than you hear other people hear your voice. So.
Yes, and when I speak, I think I talk like this, but I don't speak like this.
Right.
Yeah, my voice sounds good until I listen to it recorded, and then I say, I sound like that.
I mean, you sound like a
Now,
Republican.
let me tell you the other thing that the last couple of days has gotten to me. Everybody's written me about the fact that a station I work for in San Francisco, Live 105, just changed its name to Dave FM.
Huh?
My day.
Okay, whatever. Whatever you want to call it. You can call it Poo-Poo Caca FM. It doesn't matter. Okay. People, excuse me. I just coughed down some.
Except for you have a known voice.
But wait a minute, let me finish with this Dave FM thing. So they're all writing me, going, "Isn't it sad? It's the end of an era, and there's no more Live 105." And I'm thinking, there was no Live 105 for the last 10, 15 years. I mean, the station you remember stopped doing that format and doing it in that way 15, 20 years ago. So, don't bemoan the fact that it's gone. It was gone a long time ago. And what's really odd and interesting is the people who created Live 105 and made it modern rock and everything like that, the format that you know me from, then sold the station to CBS. Okay? And then guess what? When this company got bigger, they bought it back from CBS. So the people who just changed it to Dave are the people who started Live 105. So, be that as it may.
I let my Sirius thing expire because I got a new credit card. It got compromised. And so they were charging me monthly. And so I let it expire, and I started listening to FM and AM radio for the last couple of weeks.
I'm sorry for you.
I can't tell you how bad radio is in the Bay Area. I'm using Pandora rather than listen to FM and AM.
You do know that this show is on Pandora.
Really?
Yeah, we're on Pandora.
Yeah, really.
I get enough of it on Wednesdays.
Yeah, but it's on Pandora. It's also on Spotify, and it's also on iHeartRadio. and I just applied to, what was it, Odyssey, which is the company that used to be Entercom, which is the company that I worked for at Live 105. And I just, you know.
Can you tell how many listeners you get, for instance, on Pandora and these other services?
No, because they all show up in the same place as a number.
Hey, you mentioned avocados.
Yes.
Now,
He likes them.
in New York, I never even knew avocados existed. I didn't see them until I came out to California. You know,
Well, it could be because avocados probably weren't out here as much because this wasn't an avocado growing area. But now, since we import all these avocados from like Brazil or whatever, they're everywhere. There isn't a place in the world you can go that you can't find an avocado. Maybe Afghanistan because it has to wear a veil or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, so I was just surprised. I had never seen an avocado living in New York. I didn't even know they existed. And, you know, I moved to California and everybody's eating sprouts and avocados and stuff like that. It took me a while before I broke down and tried it.
Yeah. But anyway, so that, yeah. But over the weekend, people say, did you do anything? And no, the excitement I had was I bought a new Keurig coffee maker.
They don't last very long, do they?
You know what? I don't give a shit. This thing, after a discount at Costco, wound up costing me $103.
And they give you about $30.
Or as I think of it, 15 minutes with my lawyer.
You know, they give you, when you buy a new Keurig, you get a bunch of K-Cups. They come with
yeah,
the
but they're none of the ones I like. You know, It's like Green Valley Vanilla. Like, fuck you.
Well, you get decaf,
Huh? What?
You get some decaf. You get some hot chocolate. Yeah.
An 8-pack of junk.
Yeah.
You know, I stopped getting Keurigs because they keep dying all the time. I bought a Cuisinart that uses the Keurig thing, and it's got a 3-year warranty. And when the thing dies at 2 years,
but the Keurig that I had just went out, and I think maybe it was 5-6 years, maybe longer.
Really? God, I had
yeah.
horrible luck.
And what I did is I then went online. I mean, I bought this new one, but then I went online because I was determined not to have a dead Keurig sitting in my house. And I went on to Amazon. I'm looking for this part, $22. I got it within 24 hours. You just pull one out. It's the little bucket thing in there. And you just pull it out and put a new one in. Everything is working fine, making a great cup of coffee.
There you go.
You know? So, I mean, that thing probably would have lasted another 5 years.
My Cuisinarts would go for 2.5 years. I use them all the time.
But
And
didn't
they're
you buy
3-year
one?
warranty.
I think
Take 'em
Phil
in-
bought one and it broke fast, didn't it?
I had a Cuisinart. I had several Keurigs. They all broke. I gave up on the Keurigs. I bought the Cuisinart. That one went down the tubes. The one at the store, the Keurig at the store, has been working for years. And I use a regular drip Bonavita, I think it's called, for coffee at home.
Well, this one that I got was, let me see here if I still have it up here. Let me see here. Keurig, yeah, Keurig. Let's see here. It's the what one is it? Here it is. It's the in fact I can show people here because I have a way of showing my computer. I think we can do it. There we go. It's this one right here, folks. It's a Keurig Supreme Plus coffee maker, and at Costco, at Keurig, it's $155, or at Amazon it's $155. But as I say, I got money off on it, and I got it for $103 at Costco. I'm very happy about that. You know.
Never try a Nespresso?
No, I've thought about it, but I only want espresso every once in a while. Okay,
They're kind of tasty. There was one in a hotel room that I stayed in, and it was really good.
Yeah, I'm sure they're good, but they're also expensive. What do you do for coffee, Brian? You look like you're a coffee drinker in the morning, right?
Yeah, I just do black coffee, 1 cup at work, and that's all. I'm good for the day.
Really? I
Yeah.
do a cup in the morning when I get up, and I put some non-sugary sweetener in there, and then I've got this stuff. I'm trying to remember the name of it now, but it's creamer, but it has no carbs in it, and it's really good. It's really
Where did you
good.
get that from?
Hmm?
From Costco?
I originally I got that from my local grocery store, and then they stopped carrying it. So I now buy it on the Amazon site. They send me 3 of them on Amazon. Let me see what's the name of it. I'll tell you in a second here.
Yeah, and you talked about a chocolate you guys get at Costco that's like low carb or something.
Oh no, it's the ice cream. Oh,
The ice cream?
By the way, here's what it was. Here it is. It's soup. What is it? That's a weird name. That's not the name of it. It's super. It's called Super Creamer. That's what it's called. And I get it in a couple flavors, that you can get it in. But what were you talking about, Brian?
Oh, I thought you said you got chocolate from Costco, not ice cream. I thought it was chocolate.
It's ice cream.
Oh, really?
And it's keto. And
Oh, yeah,
it's keto,
yeah.
keto bars. And they're caramel and the chocolate, and they got only 2 net carbs per ice cream. And it's not like they go, well, these are low net carb chocolate bars. Look how small they are. They give you a little tiny one. No, this thing's huge.
Really?
Yeah, and terrific. Marjorie and I share one every night. It's that big. So.
We still laugh when we walk around and see the Depends.
Oh, the Depends. You like the Depends? Marjorie and I have not been there in a while. Well, we did go there a couple of months ago, and I don't know that she made a joke about the Depends. I think she finally gave up on it, or she forgot about it, Or maybe she doesn't love me anymore, and she doesn't want to make the Depends jokes. It's every time, folks, we went by the where they have the Depends, and they don't just have a small display. They have a huge. Have you ever been to Costco and seen the display for Depends? And it's huge boxes of Depends. It's like, and she will always run over and grab a big box of them and say, Alex, you need your Depends, don't you?
Oh God!
And then
At the top of her lungs.
yeah.
Signed up for the Harvard Medical Newsletter, and in the last one that came, there was a thing where I could get a thing for a better bladder and bowel control.
There you go.
And when you get after you've had cancer and radiation and stuff like that, you actually need this stuff. And so I'm going to buy the book. It's save 30%, but this coupon came with the Harvard newsletter. And it's funny that you mentioned this because I'm looking at it. It's hard to see, but it's for better bowel and bladder control.
Yeah, I was. There was this item. Kimmel was showing an ad for it that is out, and it is a testicle warmer. It's like a little. You saw it, right?
What is this again?
It's a testicle warmer, so you can warm up your gonads and make them make the sperm less effective. It's a form of birth control, right? But I don't think they guarantee it, do they? And how hot do your nuts have to be? And then once you probably got to keep your nuts in this thing, and then just unlatch it when you're ready to have sex, and hope you come fast enough so the sperm don't come back to life again because they're really drowsy.
That's funny.
Swim.
But everybody comes up with something,
You got 40.
What? 40
40
people
people
watching?
watching the show.
Whoop-de fucking do. I used to have 50, But
That's okay. 10 of them died from COVID.
Oh, and while they were waiting for something good to happen on this show, you know. Let me see here. No, 39 it says here on mine.
Well, we lost one.
Well, somebody left. Whoever they were, to hell with you. We don't need you anyway. Okay. So anyway, so I, you know, for the most part, I took my little walk today, and it was a little difficult for me. 'Cause I've been walking a lot. You know, I like walking, but the problem is that, you know, the weather's been changeable, and it's been a problem. And then Marjorie always says to me, well, I have a delivery coming from Fresh Direct, so could you stay home? So I don't go out because I'm waiting for Fresh Direct to come with what is really very mediocre food. Have you ever ordered any of you from Fresh Direct?
Once or twice. I haven't gotten it for a while though.
It's okay. There are a couple of things that are okay, but for the most part, it's very mediocre. You know?
Yes, I mean, you know, I tried it, but I'd rather go to the store and pick out my own stuff, really.
You know, companies like Walmart that sell produce and food, the produce all looks the same. It looks good, but it doesn't have any flavor or anything like that because I think that they want some sort of consistency in everything they have, and they buy it or or grow it in such a way that you're not getting really high quality food. You're just getting something that looks like food. You know, what do they call that? The assist the
The what?
Food.
Food. It's called food, Phil.
You just ate it for dinner, Stan.
Genetically altered.
Oh, genetically.
GMO? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
GMO. Yeah.
And the stuff, you know, they're big, they look right, but they're not good, and they don't taste good. They don't have any.
Well, I don't think food tastes as good as it used to anyway. I mean, you go out even to a good butcher shop and buy yourself a nice thick steak, and most of the time it sucks.
Yeah.
You know, it's
You gotta
not
go to
like
the
it
right
used to be.
place.
No, it's not as tasty as it used to be. Now, I'll tell you, we do have a place called Stu Leonard's. When Marjorie goes there, she gets nice thick steaks for me, and they are just really delicious. But it's rare to find. You can't find it in supermarkets when the stuff's in the plastic. You know, they never cut a thick slice of it, and so Marjorie sometimes is ordering meat. She ordered meat the other day from Fairway, and she said, "Oh, this is only $16." I went, "Oh, okay." So she orders and it comes and it's $30 because there were 2 steaks in the plastic thing. They were good, but $30, $32. I said, $16. It was $16 a pound, dear, not $16 for the steak.
My steak tonight was 57.
Oh my God!
Yeah. How thick was it?
It was pretty.
It was thick.
Yeah.
People are. There's a lot of things that are very.
And how
very,
big did you say your penis was? It's about as thick as.
Alex, that's 6 inches.
Huh?
That's 6 inches.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Internet inches.
Internet inches? Yeah.
That's right.
Let's see here. What do you say? Let's see here. Somebody wrote. Where was it? Brian Neary. I saw the 1958 Nomad station wagon today. Do you know what he's talking about?
Just a car. Yeah, nice car.
Okay.
Not a McLaren though, right?
2 doors and it's a wagon.
Not a McLaren. Not somebody who's going to charge you $600 to
look at it.
Check your oil.
Turn off your check engine light.
Right.
And he says, I once went into Hobby Lobby and asked what aisle contraceptives can be located, and the lady looked like she heard it 1,000 times.
Oh, Hobby Lobby.
Oh, Hobby Lobby. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. There.
Yeah.
For that shit.
Super Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a thing like once a month, and it's a Hobby Lobby in Morgan Hill because they have a big parking lot, and since they're not open on Sundays, we go there. So
Yeah.
they're closed because.
And it says, is it me or does Phil interject the most left field topics consistently, and John Redshaw then wrote, "Too much news, Max."
I have an answer for him.
Yeah?
You.
It was cut off a little bit there, folks. He was going.
My answer for him is
Blah blah blah.
What thing with the Ranger lips?
Well, that way, by doing that, I'm not going to be. It's still going to be able to run commercials on the program. You know.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a 7-second delay.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, we have let's see, we have our election coming up here in New York for mayor. Who are you going to vote for, Tony?
I'm voting for Curtis.
Why are you voting for Curtis?
I like him. I do. I watched that debate.
Curtis
tonight.
Lee.
I'm
Well,
voting
look,
for Curtis.
I got to admit, I could say nasty things about Curtis, but he has nothing but nice things to say about me. He
likes you.
He's
Then,
a
see?
fan of mine.
See, that's even better now for
But
me.
the fact that he is the worst kind of right winger
You know what I like? What they said tonight,
makes me
Alex?
want to have him hate me. You know.
Which, you know what the guy said? He goes, he made up. Remember, you said he made up those things for the Guardian Angels. They brought it up tonight at the debate. You made up accusations about things that didn't happen. He says, I apologize for that.
Well, no, what happened was he was the head of the Guardian Angels, which years ago was like a vigilante group, which I don't agree
remember
with
when I was a
having.
kid.
I don't believe in vigilante groups. And they would go around wearing their little outfits with their red berets. All
I really
right.
see him around.
The guy is now 70 years old or something. I don't know. He's still wearing the goddamn red beret. Huh?
Probably
He
bald.
uses it as
No,
a
he's
nut,
got his head, Curtis.
he uses it as a nut warmer. When it's not on. Yeah.
Alex, he's always in the neighborhood. I saw him by the park when we had problems. He's always around. We see him a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, he lives in Queens. He lives in Forest Hills.
he's not going to win. You know, there's
No, I
no
know.
chance he's going to win.
How did Adams do in those debates? And what?
It doesn't matter how he's going to do. He's going to win. That's it. He's a Democrat, and he's going to win.
He didn't really answer much.
You know, the last time a Republican won in this city was when Bloomberg became mayor.
No, oh yeah, you're right. You're right, Bloomberg. I keep
And then he
forgetting
became a
that. I was in-
Democrat, and then he became an independent.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was really not
Yeah.
a Republican, but,
But
yeah, you're
Bloomberg
right.
was you know,
I miss
yeah.
Bloomberg.
So Tony's going Republican.
I'm an independent.
You'll love it.
But I have to say, I don't like Warren, Alex. I can't take that woman. I can't take.
You can't take who?
Warren Pocahontas. She gets on my nerves.
Why'd you suddenly bring
Why?
up
She's the only
war?
one standing up for you.
I think she's over the top, though. Really, I told Phil I don't like her. She rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is about her.
Well, you know.
You know, I don't know. I just don't like her. I don't.
Well,
like
who
her.
would you
I'm not-
rather have sex with, Marjorie Taylor Greene or Ocasio-Cortez?
I mean, I guess the one from the
I
Bronx.
think I made my point. Okay.
Phil said she was a bartender. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
But she went to a good college, Phil. I don't think she's not stupid.
She went to bartender college. Yeah. Anyway. Hey, there's
Yeah,
our
that's my
theme.
idea.
Our theme is playing. Hey, this has been fun. Phil, thanks for sticking around. And keep your whole system that way. It's great. It keeps you from really interrupting.
Yeah, don't fix anything.
Don't fix anything. It's
good.
perfect. Brian, great to have you back. God, you know, I think the world of you. And when we didn't have you on, I was getting depressed.
That feels good.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Adrian's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Nick's going on 20.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And of course, Charlie, always good to have you here. Tony, great to have you here. Alan, nice to have you a little drunk from dinner and full of cigar smoke. And Jeff, great to have you here. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you. Okay, there they go, folks. All righty, there they go. That's them. Okay, let me see here. I'm a little out of sync, so if I just take them out of the, take them off. Okay, there we go. I probably slowly will get back into sync here. Watch what happens. See, now I'm pretty much back in sync. So, anyway, it always happens. Don't worry about it. I don't care anymore, you know. I just care what my lawyer's charging me. Anyway, tomorrow night we'll be back here at 10:30, same time, same station in life. Jack Bishop is next with The Intersection. And by the way, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? And on top of that, get vaccinated if you haven't done so. Get your third vaccination if you haven't done so. And if you do none of those things, then slap a mask on your face. See you tomorrow night. Bye-bye, everybody.